What's up guys, I'm Brent with PrecisionLED.com, and here we have a 2019 Honda Accord we're going to be performing an LED interior light installation on. Now the 2019 is part of the 10th generation Accord, so this installation will be compatible with all years 2017 plus. Today we're going to be installing LEDs on the front map, the rear dome, the vanity mirrors, the trunk, and the reverse lights. We'll be showing you how to install LEDs on the rear turn signal lights as well. Today we're going to be installing a PrecisionLED 360 premium style LED kit, which come with these 3 interior trim tools you see us using throughout the video. We have our pointed wedge tool, our fork shaped wedge tool, and our serrated knife tool. We're going to start by installing on the front map lights. Now, as you can see, I've already gone ahead and done the install on the passenger side, so I'll show you how to install on the driver's side. We're going to be using the fork portion of our fork-shaped wedge tool in order to gain access to the light here. So what we're going to want to do initially, just press and hold the switch inward, and this is just so that you're creating some separation between the lens and the fixture here. And you're going to be taking the fork portion of the tool, you're going to be coming in just from the center portion of the vehicle and just pry the tool in there. And once you're pried in there, just pry outward, and you will be releasing just these 2 clips right here that are holding the lens into place. Then you can just use your free hands, just remove the lens. And now we have access to the halogen bulb here, so we can just remove that with our bare hands. You just want to be careful if the light was on previously, this bulb will be very hot, in which case we would advise to just remove with a rag or a cloth. And so here we have the LED that we'll be installing. Now these premium LEDs, they are non-polarity specific, so you can toss them in any orientation and they should come on without any issues, as you can see there. So now we can just go ahead and install the lens here. We're just going to want to line these tabs up with the appropriate clips right here on the inside of the vehicle. And once those are lined up, just apply some pressure and they'll lock in place. So now we'll be installing on the rear dome light. We're going to be using the flat portion of our serrated knife tool in order to gain access to the bulb here. So there are 4 clips that hold this lens into place. There's 1 in each corner. So we're just going to take the flat portion. We're going to be prying from opposite of the switch side, so towards the tail of the vehicle. And once you're wedged in there, just go ahead and pry outward. And as you can see there, 1 tab is loose, but if you keep prying, the rest of the tabs will come loose, just like so. And now we have access to the halogen bulb. Now this light was on previously, so we're just going to be removing the bulb with a rag. There we are. And when you're grasping the bulb, this has a sideways connection, so you're just going to be grasping the bulb and just pulling outward towards the driver's side of the vehicle. And here we have the LED, so we'll just pop that in. Just test the bulb before tossing the lens back on. Everything looks good. And here we have the lens. We're first just going to want to line up the rear tabs, just like so. Once those are in place, just apply some pressure on the tabs that are towards the nose of the vehicle. Now we'll be installing on the vanity mirror light. We're going to be using our pointed wedge tool in order to gain access to the halogen bulb. Now if you can see just right here towards the bottom of the vanity mirror, there's a small divot. You're just going to want to take the pointed portion of the tool. You're going to want to come inside that divot and then just pry outward, just like so, and the lens will come loose. And now that we have access to the bulb, we're just going to take the pointed portion of the tool again. We're just going to pry from underneath the halogen bulb just to loosen up one side of it. And then once that top side is loosened, you can just take your free hand and just remove the bulb, just like so. As I stated previously, if the light was on before, it will be very hot, so just be careful. And so here we have the LED, so we'll just pop that in. It could be installed in any orientation. And you just want to be sure that the LED boards are facing outward. And so here we have the lens, so we'll just pop that back on. So we do have 1 flat clip right here. That's going to go towards the top of the lens. So we'll just line that up. And once that is lined up, just apply a little bit of pressure on the bottom tab and that'll lock into place. Now we'll be installing on the trunk light. Now there's just one tab that's holding this lens into place, which is just right here towards the passenger side of the vehicle. So we're just going to be taking the fork portion of our fork-shaped wedge tool. We're going to be prying that tab downward, and then at the same time just go ahead, pry the lens outward as well. And as you can see right here, this is the tab that I'm referring to. And so now we're just going to go ahead and remove the bulb. And so here we have the LED, so we'll just pop that in. Everything looks good. Now we'll just go ahead and reinstall the fixture. We're first just going to want to line up the switch, the power cable here towards the driver's side of the vehicle. And then once that's in place, let's just lock that last tab into place. And lastly, we're going to be installing on the reverse lights. Now, in order to gain access to the rear of the reverse housing, we're actually just going to have to remove some of this paneling. It's actually very simple. We just have to remove these two clips right here, and we're going to be doing so just with the fork portion of our fork-shaped wedge tool. So you're just going to want to take one of those forks, just come in between the actual clip and the base of the clip. If you could see right there, just create some separation between the central portion of the clip along with the base of the clip right there. Do the same thing right over here, and by doing so the clips do release and they come out very easily, as you can see there. And now we'll just go ahead, we'll bring down some of this liner, and the reverse connector inside of the liner is just this one right here. It's a gray plug, so just go ahead, grasp that plug, twist it counterclockwise, and then just pull out very gently to remove. And we'll just remove that bulb with our bare hands. And so here we have the LED that we're installing, so we'll just pop that in. And now we can just reinstall the connector back into the housing. Just going to want to line up these three tabs accordingly into the housing. And just go ahead, twist the power cable around until everything is seated flush, just like so. And once everything is seated flush, just twist the cable clockwise until it locks into place. And now we can just go ahead, reinstall this liner. Just go ahead, line everything up, and then we'll take the clips here. You're just going to want to install them with a little bit of separation between the base of the clip and the outside of the clip, just like so. And once that's installed, you can just press down on the outside of the clip until everything locks in place. And just do the same thing with the last clip right up here. Install with a little bit of separation. Once it's in there, go ahead and press down on the outside of the clip and it'll lock into place. Now we'll be installing on the rear turn signal light. So in order to gain access of the bulb, we're going to have to remove the housing and work from the inside of the housing, the opposite end. It's pretty simple. In order to do so, we're just going to remove this plate, and underneath this plate there are just a couple screws to remove, and then the housing slips right out. So first, let's remove this plate. We're going to be doing so just with the fork portion of our fork-shaped wedge tool. There are just a couple clips that hold this plate into place, so we're just going to be coming in from the top. Just going to go ahead, slide down against the plate and just twist the tool outward until those clips come loose, just like so. And once you have some separation, just go ahead and work your way down until the rest of the clips come loose. And next we're just going to be removing these two bolts. And so here we have a Phillips screwdriver, so we'll just go ahead, and once those two bolts are removed, there are just a couple more tabs that are holding this housing into place. So you're just going to want to grasp the entire housing. You're just going to want to pull away from the vehicle towards the bumper, and you should release those clips, just like so. And for reference, the clips that I was referring to are these two ones right here that go inside of these two slots. And the turn signal light is actually this one right here. It's this orange clip. So we're just going to go ahead grasp the clip, twist it counterclockwise, and just pull out to remove. And next, in order to remove this bulb, you actually just want to first just grasp the bulb, press it downward, twist the entire bulb counterclockwise, and it would release, just like so. And so here we have the LED that we're going to be installing. Now you just want to install it exact opposite way of how we remove the halogen bulb. You just want to push the bulb inside of the socket, press the LED bulb downward, and then twist it clockwise, just like so, in order to lock it into place. And now let's just go ahead and reinstall that turn signal bulb. Just when you insert the socket, just go ahead, you want to make sure that these tabs are lined up accordingly into the socket here. And swivel that power cable around until everything is seated flush. Just like so. Once everything is seated flush, twist the power cable clockwise in order to lock it into place. And now we can just reinstall the housing here. Again, you just want to make sure that these two tabs are inserted into the appropriate clips. And once those are lined up properly, and you can also see here that these two plastic clips are lining up properly with the according holes. Just want to go ahead, apply some pressure to lock those tabs into place. Now we can just reinstall these bolts here. And lastly, you just want to remember to reinstall this plate over the bolts here. We're first just going to want to line up these tabs towards the inside of the housing first. And once all of those tabs are lined up, everything is seated flush, as you can see right here. Just go ahead, lift this lip up so that you can install the rest of it, and just apply some pressure until all the clips lock into place.
And that's the end of the installation. If you have any questions or concerns, please email us at help@precisionled.com, or you can reach us online and submit a support ticket at www.precisionled.com/contact. Now, like we said before, please like or subscribe if you enjoyed the video or enjoyed the process for what we do. It really does help us out when we make the next one, knowing that there's people out there watching the videos. Have a good one.